Hey guys, wanted to come on and share some information with those of you who are interested in the security guard industry in the state of Georgia. And I want you to know that there are a lot of opportunities available for high quality, dependable security professionals. And I'm speaking to those who are endeavoring to do more than just to be a security guard or security officer or to work for a security guard company. Even though there are opportunities available in that, your ceiling is limited as far as income, as far as the choice of the type of accounts that you will work. Those that I'm speaking to are those who are more primed to be a security manager or a security business owner, or in our case of my company, a franchise manager, in which we allow them to secure and staff the accounts that they find as if it's their own account, working under the umbrella of our company license and insurance. And we allow them to get 90% of the contract, up to 90% of the contract, as long as they staff it and manage it. And so I want to speak to those who are looking for opportunities like that. And that means that you may have to cover all of the accounts, all of the hours that you contract, because you can't necessarily just depend on your team. Sometimes it can be a challenge finding high quality team members. And you have to gauge your level of involvement based on the quality pool of team members you have. Now, the difference between working as a security guard, for the most part, there's several differences, but one of the key differences is that when it comes to pay, when you run your own security company or your own account, you only get paid when the client pays you. There's no every week or every 2 weeks that you're paid. That's one of the major differences that you have to get in your mind, that when you're looking at starting your own company or you want to manage your own accounts, then you get paid when the client pays you. That's the way it is for all company owners. So you may have to have other pool of resources available for payroll and things that you need to do if you're paying staff members to work the accounts yourself. Even if you're not paying other staff members to work it, you may need to have some capital on hand, because sometimes clients don't pay on time. Now, one of the things we try to do with my company is we invoice our clients every week, even if it's a net 14 account. Net 14 meaning that the payment is due within 14 days of the invoice being sent. Sometimes that works, sometimes not. I have a pretty good rapport with the payroll managers at the accounts that we have. So I simply sometimes just send them a friendly email reminder, and they usually respond and tell me that the checks were signed or the post office didn't come pick them up and things as such, just to keep that door of communication open. So for those who have slow paying clients, you need your money every week or every 2 weeks, you may want to consider what's called invoice factoring, where you get an invoice factoring company who will basically purchase your invoices from you on a weekly basis and pay you up to 85% of that invoice within 24 hours, and then the balance once the client pays. And there's fees attached to that, of course. It is a business, and it is a service that they're providing for you to keep your cash flow going. So you want to look online for invoice factoring companies. See if that's something for you. And usually that's based on the company, your client's credit worthiness and ability to pay, not your credit or ability to repay. So that may be an option for those of you who are having issues generating the weekly or bi-weekly payroll in the event that your client doesn't pay on time. That's something that's very important for a lot of smaller security companies. So keep that in mind. Also, when you're the quote-unquote boss, so to speak, the buck stops with you. I often share with those in any level of leadership or management. The way that you know that you are the leader or manager is that when things go wrong, they call you. Yes, that's when you know you're in charge. When things go wrong, the client calls you. And so that's different than the security officer, security guard who's working for a company. When things go wrong, you may be held accountable, but the buck doesn't stop with you. They're going to contact your supervisor and his or her manager, and it may even get to the owner or the president of the company. Those are the persons who are ultimately responsible because they hired you. So as you think about the possibility of starting your own security company or taking advantage of the opportunities that we provide as a franchise manager, for those who may not qualify for licensing, we offer that opportunity for the right candidates. You have to realize that, you have to assume full responsibility for what happens with your accounts. You must assume full responsibility what happens if you're paying members of your team, you must assume responsibility for their payroll, whether that's weekly or bi-weekly. I generally do a weekly payroll for my team members, and that's whether the client pays me or not. So I must have resources available to ensure that my team gets paid on time every time. That's one thing you cannot negotiate with when it comes to pay. You have people who have committed time and effort to helping to ensure that your accounts run smoothly, and you're obligated to make sure that they're paid on time every time. And I want to stress that with you. So you see, there are some big differences that goes into running your own company or managing your own accounts, things that you don't have to concern yourself with as a security guard or security officer working for a company. And these are the major things that you have to step your mind up to get used to being able to operate on this level. Now, as a result of you assuming this level of responsibility, your reward is much greater. So if you're working for a security company here in the state of Georgia, you may get $12, $13, $14, maybe $15 an hour as an unarmed officer. Sometimes armed officers may get $17 to $18 an hour, and that's fine if that's what you're comfortable doing. You don't want to assume any other level of responsibility. This is what I meant, that your ceiling is capped as far as income goes, working just as a security guard or security officer for another company. As a business owner or a franchise manager, then your income is based on whatever amount you set your contracts at, minus whatever expenses has to come out. So for an unarmed, let's use this as an example. For an unarmed account, in some cases you can get $30 an hour, and let's say you paid someone $15 an hour to do it. And then you will get the other 15 minus whatever expenses, insurance, uniforms, equipment that may come out of that. You break that down as far as what that cost would be. But remember this, you're getting that $15 an hour by not working an account. You're basically getting money for somebody else's going to work the account. Okay, so if you have a 40-hour week account, then you're making $15 times 40 just to have someone else work your account. And so that's the benefit of managing or securing your own accounts as opposed to just working that account as a security guard, security officer. And here's the flip side of that. Now, if you chose to work the hours, depending on how many hours it is a week, some of the hours may be 56-hour week, some may be 80-hour week, some may be what we call a 168-hour week, which is 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Now, it will be nearly impossible for you to work that amount of hours. So that means if you got an account with that number of hours, you would definitely be paying 1 or 2 people, or even 3 to 4 people to work some of those hours. And you can work as many or as little as you choose. That is one of the benefits of owning your own company and managing your own accounts. So for that example that I gave you earlier about, say you got an account and the company pays you $30 an hour, instead of paying someone $15 an hour, you can work as many hours as you can or want and just take that whole $30 an hour into your own pocket, minus whatever expenses you have. Otherwise, insurance, uniforms, equipment, and such. Because generally speaking, you're never going to make that type of money working for a company. $30 an hour is pretty much unheard of, whether armed or unarmed. And that's just the negotiated price. Sometimes you can get companies to pay even more than that. So you just have to understand that it gives you a whole different set of options when you are able to be in control of your income, so to speak, that you're able to generate your own income. And this is the opportunities that I'm speaking to those of you in the audience with today. It's not for everyone. Some people are meant to be, so to speak, Indians. Not everybody is made out to be a chief. But for those of you who feel like, hey, this may be an opportunity, something that I think I may want to embrace, something that I may want to look into further, I have a lot of information on our website for as far as the state of Georgia goes. Each state is different. So I'm speaking specifically to those in the state of Georgia who are looking for opportunities to either start their own security company or to work as a franchise manager with our company. Our website is gracesecurity.net or gscprotection.com. Again, gracesecurity.net or gscprotection.com. You can click any of those domain names and it'll take you to our site. You'll see a franchise page, which explains the process for getting licensed with your own company in the state of Georgia. And you can also read information about our opportunity to work with us as a franchise manager. And we mentor you along the steps. And another important thing to talk about is that we don't take every type of account. Now, we don't deal with bars and clubs, gas stations, liquor stores, really low-income apartments. We don't generally accept any of those type of clients because they're more trouble than they're worth at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned. Every company has their own standard of what type of accounts they feel comfortable working. And those are some of the types of accounts that we don't. We generally work with corporations, mainly car dealerships, some warehouses, parking lot security, things of that nature. So just give us a call, send us an email, visit the website. If you have an account that you can secure, contact us. We can discuss what type of account it is and see whether we can help move you forward in securing this account. As long as you're able to staff it and manage it, then we can work out a fee scale up to 90% of that account, as long as you staff and fully manage it yourself. So just want to come in, share a few moments with you again. I'm Lyndon Hutchinson. I'm the president, CEO of Grace Security Consultants. And we've been talking about the opportunities for security professionals in the state of Georgia. Look forward to getting a chance to chat with you. I'll leave our contact information at the end of this video.